So what are my asks? First, funding for the repair of the A379 Slapton line and the improvement of our inland road network. Devon County Council are currently working on a full business case for the Department for Transport, and I urge the Government to respond to their application swiftly. Second, funding for sea defences along the Stark Bay coastline. I ask the Government to commit that the Environment Agency will have what it needs to respond in an agile and timely manner to coastal emergencies like this one. The process for accessing such funding is incredibly complicated, but speed is of the essence in a situation like this. Third, meaningful, dedicated financial support for local authorities dealing with coastal emergencies, for the cost of emergency repairs, for potential loss of business rates revenue, car parking income and council tax. Councils are doing extraordinary work in extraordinarily difficult circumstances. They should not be left to carry the financial consequences of a national challenge on their own. Fourth, urgent action on the flood recovery framework to ensure localised weather incidents are treated just as seriously as national events. This is a big problem in a small place, and it needs a big solution. Fifth, a national strategy for households displaced by coastal erosion in place by March 2027. And lastly, a commitment to provide government-backed insurance for coastal erosion and for insurance policy premiums to be capped for those whose properties have been damaged by coastal flooding, such as those in Torcross. I'm very aware that not all these asks are the responsibility of MHCLG, but I hope the Minister will relay these to colleagues in other departments. Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to close with a broader point, because while this debate is about Stark Bay, it is also about something much larger. There are communities the length of England's coastline facing versions of what Stark Bay is facing right now. From the Holderness coast in Yorkshire, where land is disappearing into the North Sea faster than almost anywhere else in Europe, to the eroding cliffs of Norfolk and Suffolk. Coastal communities are watching the ground literally shift beneath their feet. Many of them are already among the most socially and economically vulnerable in the country, and many feel forgotten. According to the EFRA Committee's report, over 10,000 properties are at risk from coastal erosion in the next 80 years, as well as 183 kilometres of roads and 6 kilometres of railway. If local authorities are to be able to manage the impacts of coastal erosion, they must be supported by the Government to carry out long-term strategic planning. What this Government does in response to the crisis in Stark Bay will be noticed far beyond South Devon. It will send a signal about whether coastal communities can expect a national government to treat their situation with the seriousness it deserves, or whether they will continue to be managed at the margins, left to local authorities and agencies that are doing their very best with nowhere near enough support. The sea does not respect administrative boundaries or departmental silos or funding formula designed for a different kind of emergency. It requires a response that is strategic, sustained and genuinely cross-governmental. The EFRA Committee has provided a roadmap. The communities of Stark Bay have provided the urgent human case. What is needed now is the political will to act. The people of Torcross, Bee Sands, Hall Sands and the wider Stark Bay are not asking for the sea to be stopped. They're asking for a government that sees them, that invests in them and that works with them to find a way forward. They are proud and resilient communities that deserve a response equal to the challenge they face. And so